third part of my talk, I will be speaking about the comments of some of the non-Muslims. There are many non-Muslims that have commented on the Prophet, who is a mercy to humanity. Time will not permit me to speak about all. I'll just mention a few. There was a book by the name The 100, a ranking of the most influential persons in history. This book was written by Michael H. Hart. And Michael H. Hart, he was a historian, he was a mathematician, and he was an astronaut. In this book, The 100, a ranking of the most influential persons in history, Michael H. Hart, an American, he lists the 100 most influential people in the world. And he gives the ranking 1, 2, 3, 4, and he gives reasoning for why has he ranked number 1, number 2, number 3, right down till number 100. In his list, he names Ashoka, he names Aristotle, he gives the name of Buddha, he gives the name of Confucius. But the most shocking amongst all is he gives number 1 to the last and final messenger of Islam, to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. People would worry, people would wonder, why has this American in America, why has he given a Muslim as number 1, the most influential persons in history, right from Adam till today? Why? We would wonder why. And he places Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, number 3, and Moses, peace be upon him, as number 15. People would wonder that his audience, the reader, all the readers of most of the readers of his book would be Americans. More than 300 million Americans, they are Christian and Jews. So why should he place the person who they believe as the main important person as number 3 and number 15? Michael H. Hart, he gives reasonings for his decision. And he says that Christianity is approximately double of Islam. When he wrote the book a few decades earlier, that Christianity is approximately double of Islam, but Prophet Muhammad has been responsible for the development of Islam much more than Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, has been responsible for the development of Christianity. He says there are 2 reasons. Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, he was responsible for the ethics and the moral perspective of Christianity. And St. Paul, he was responsible for the theology of Christianity and in proselytization and in setting the rules of Christianity. Whereas Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he was responsible for both. He was mainly responsible for the development of the theology of Islam as well as the ethics and the moral perspective of Islam. He was also a proselyter, and he was the person who established the rules and implemented the rules of the religion of Islam. That is the reason Michael H. Hart, he places Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, number 1, Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, number 3, and St. Paul as number 6. And we have to agree that Michael H. Hart was very bold and very truthful, because we know that St. Paul is the main person who has written about Christianity. And more than half of the New Testament is written by St. Paul. Out of 27 books of the Old Testament, 14 books have been attributed to St. Paul. It really requires guts for a person who's writing a book in America. The main audience are American, the main people, and they know that in that country there are so many books written against Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Yet he goes out of his way, he's honest, and he has the guts to agree that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was the most influential person in human history. Michael H. Hart further writes And he says, my decision to place Muhammad, peace be upon him, on top of the most influential person in history will be shocking to some. And some would challenge it. But the reason I put Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he is the only human being in the world who was successful in both religious and secular affairs. And the Muslims, they conquered Makkah without bloodshed. And when Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, entered Makkah, when he entered Makkah, he said that all those who are in the house of Abu Sufyan, all those who enter the house of Abu Sufyan, they are safe. Abu Sufyan, he was the chief of the pagan Arabs. He was the chief of Makkah and he was the leader of the enemies. So when he enters Makkah, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, says, anyone who enters the house of Abu Sufyan, the chief of the enemies of Muslims, he is safe.